Welcome back. Let's have a quick look at skill rolls in Call of Cthulhu 7 on Fantasy Grounds. So we've selected our character and we'll move over to the Skills tab. Now, Skills is pretty much the most common role that you'll do in Call of Cthulhu. It's very much investigative heavy and we use skills for many different things. So the higher the skill, the better. You're trying to roll equal to or under your skill to get a success, equal to or under half of your skill to get a hard success, and equal to or under 1/5 or 20% of your skill to get an extreme success. So we can see our various skills here. And to roll on these skills, we just double click on the large number. So if the keeper asks you to do a history skill, double click on the large number and it will roll a percentage dice. And here you can see we've rolled over. So history is one of our best skills, and we can see that we've failed that roll. Now we can also see that we've got an option here to spend 32 of our 53 luck to succeed. Now luck pretty much is a one-time spend. Luck is super important, super valuable. It can completely change the outcome of a scene, but once you've spent that luck, it recovers very, very slowly. So generally you wouldn't use a large number of luck unless you really absolutely had to. Generally you would use luck when it was single digit points to tip a roll over into success. We'll try another one here for language. Okay, oh that's a terrible failure. And we'll try one here with credit rating. Okay, we've got a 28. So 28 here is a success, and it also gives us the option here to spend 6 of your 53 luck to make it a hard success. Now spending luck is not automated. You would change to the main tab and you would adjust your luck down. So if we chose to make this a hard success for whatever reason, spend 6, so we change that down to 47. And next time we roll, the system will know that we have only 47 luck left instead. Additionally, there is an option where the GM might give you a bonus die or a penalty die. If the GM gives you a bonus die or even 2 dice, and again the same penalty, 1 dice or 2 dice, you click on the 1 bonus die here, and when you roll your climb skill, instead of rolling 2 d10s, you roll 3 d10s. 2 of them are the 10 units, and you choose the better of the 2 dice. So we discarded one of those dice and we end up with 52. It's still insufficient to make that roll. If we've got a penalty die, the same thing happens. We're going to choose the worst die when we roll this. So we're doing a dodge roll, and one of those rolls, the 15, would have been a very good success. It would have been a hard success, but the 25 was still a success, so we got lucky there. Pushing a roll is another really useful mechanic. Now pushing a roll is if you've failed a roll and you wish to reattempt that same roll using that same skill, you need to describe to the keeper how you might attempt that differently, what you might do to make this second attempt successful when the first one wasn't. Say you were trying to appraise the painting on the wall in the manor house and you failed your appraise roll. You might explain to the keeper that you're going to take it down from the wall, take it over to the fireplace, and in the better light of the close to the fire, you might be able to get a better appreciation of the painting and understand its beauty and its value, and do a better appraise roll that way. Now, there's a kicker. When you push a roll, if you fail the push, something bad needs to happen. And the player, as well as describing what they're going to do differently, the player can suggest a negative outcome that might be appropriate to the scene, and between the player and the GM they will work that out. So the player might suggest that while taking it over to the fireplace, if they fail the roll again, the pushed roll, that perhaps the painting got too close to the fire and caught on fire, or perhaps the paint began to bubble and crack marring this beautiful artwork. So you failed your first roll, you do a pushed roll. Now you just take the roll again, and 74, it's a second failure. So in that case, the negative effect that you narrated will come into effect. So that could be quite bad. So pushing a mechanic is another one that you definitely only want to do when the odds are right. So you generally only push a roll that you've got at least a 50% skill ranking in. If you were pushing a roll with 20 or 30 or 10%, you're very, very likely to get the same outcome again. So be very careful with the push roll. It's a great mechanic. Use it appropriately. Now, once you have made your roll, if you are successful in a roll, and that's any roll except for luck rolls and Cthulhu Mythos rolls and credit rating rolls. So those rolls, you don't get to try and improve them. But any other roll, if you are successful and you haven't used a bonus die on your success, then you would tick the box. So we made a successful appraise roll. Eventually this is going to roll the right way for me. Not yet. Alright, so we had a successful library use roll. Tick the box, and you can do that. So anytime you make a successful roll during the session, you tick that box, and either at the end of the session or at the end of the adventure, you have an opportunity to try and improve that skill. So firstly, you must have a successful roll during the game, and then what happens at the end of the session when you test doing the investigator development, you do the roll again, and if you fail the roll during the investigator development, you then roll another d10 and you add that to your investigator skill. So what that means is skills that you're quite poor in are more likely to advance in once you have a success during the adventure. If you've got a skill where you're at 85%, you've only got a 15% chance of improving that skill at the end of the session. So we can see here that I was successful with my library use roll, which is not what I wanted in the development phase. So that's a really quick overview of the roles in Call of Cthulhu.